1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces of unfinished furniture. One or all of these that could be yours as we play You Bet Your Furniture. Now, let's meet our host, Ward Rowe. Our first contestant, Ward, is a Mr. Chester Drawers from Utica, New York.
Well, hello, Mr. Drawers. How are you?
I'm fine, Ward.
Now, you know how we play the game.
Ready to play.
Last time you won the footstool and the barrister case. Now, you can bet the barrister case and go for the settle, or you can settle for the settle and bet the barrister case and the footstool and go for a walk outside. Now, do you understand?
I think so, Ward.
All right. Now, what are you going for?
I'm going for the walk.
Okay. Well, now, first you have to answer this question.
Yes?
Well, here's the question. Are you ready?
I'm ready, Ward.
All right. What nationally syndicated how-to show with the two charismatic stars is about furniture, is informative, and stupid?
Judge for the defense, Carl Betts.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr.
Sugarfoot,
No.
Will Hutchins.
No, I'm sorry, Mr. Drawers.
Naked City.
No, I'm sorry.
Wendy
You're
and
wrong.
Mandy. What do I win?
Very strange trip.
Welcome to the Unfinished Furniture Show.
This is the Unfinished Furniture. Yes, it is.
Well, we're actually
The
just
never-ending furniture show.
The never-ending furniture show. At the end, we're going to fly out on a big dog.
This show is a big dog. Anyway, these are some unfinished pieces that we bought at an unfinished furniture store.
Well, the store is finished. It's the stuff in it.
Right. You can buy it.
Unfinished furniture is one of the best ways to start a project if you don't feel like stripping, because obviously the stuff doesn't need any stripping. The ideal first project for the novice.
That's right. You can find unfinished pieces in pine, such as what I'm sitting on, or
oak over here,
or sometimes you can get maple or cherry or walnut in your more exotic unfinished furniture stores. And what happens, most people buy unfinished furniture and they go and they buy a stain and they slap on a stain and then they slap on a polyurethane and they say, this is my piece, and I'm going to put a doily on it.
Slap on a white.
Yeah.
Slappy white.
Slappy white.
So, but
there's a lot of other techniques you can use,
right.
and we're going to show you a few of those. Finish number 1.
The pie safe. You know, you mounted your sawhorse from the wrong side.
Pie safe?
Yeah.
There's no combination on that?
Here's the big lock. But do you really put pies in it now? No. It comes with 3 shelves, and you can put sweaters in it, any kind of general novelties.
And over here, check this out.
That's tin. That, in the olden days, that allowed for the air, so it would cool the pies.
And kept the bugs off.
Right, and the kids and the children.
But, of course, this is a reproduction, and what we want to do is make it look like an antique.
We're going to age it naturally with
lye. 3 big letters. L-Y-E. Now, lye is used as a drain opener, but it's also used in the wood finishing industry. Some of your fine woodworkers and wood finishers use lye to age wood. It reacts very well with cherry.
Yeah, it turns it red.
About 30 years it can age it, and we'll show that in another show.
Like how long they age watching this show.
That's right. Well, it's equivalent to that.
We are to TV what lye is to wood. Now, this lye will turn this a yellowish honey color.
That's right, and then after the lye process is finished, we'll wash it on. We'll rinse it clean with fresh water, let it dry, neutralize the lye with white vinegar,
and then
let that dry.
Shellac and wax.
And before you start to have fun with lye,
you must respect it.
Make sure you must respect it. You must respect it. Do you understand what I'm saying? Wear your old clothes, as we have on here.
Use gloves.
Wear gloves. Wear goggles, because if you get this in your eye, then you'll have to say goodbye for a while.
Lye may be caustic, but it's not any more caustic than some of the removers that people might be using already.
It's actually safer than some removers.
Now, what's your proportions there?
Well, I got about a half a can. This is a 12-ounce can.
Mix it in about 2 quarts of water.
About 2 quarts of water. And...
paint stirrer?
Paint stirrer, please, doctor. Now, you'll watch this bubble up.
Come on, do the inside.
I'm going to do the inside. Do this with a rag. Don't do it with a paintbrush, because it'll eat the paintbrush.
I'll steady this. Did we say put a tarp down? You better. Because we don't know what color it'll turn your grass. The zoysia, it turns 1, and I love what you've done to this house. I like that nice purple patch in the lawn.
Now, a lot of times when you buy unfinished furniture, it comes from the factory and it's sanded on the flats. But a lot of times you have these little hairs that stick up on the edges. And you could just take a paper. I got a 280 paper here. And you could just go along. You see this fiber here?
Hairy fiber.
That's a hairy fiber. Workman Sullivan.
65 with a dog axe.
So you just go on the side and cut them off. Once the lye goes on, it's not going to darken any more than it is already. But we got a fresh pail of water here.
And
you just want to put some fresh water on it.
now, if you're outside, you can actually do this water part with a hose. Hose it until the water runs clean. You'll see it coming off yellowish, and then you'll see it coming off clean.
Now, what could be one of the things that happens for putting water on wood? Well, it could swell up, it could crack. But if you're trying to make this look like an antique, that's even better, right?
But it will at least raise the grain.
So it will have to be sanded before you put any finish on it. Now, one other reminder. If you buy a piece and the piece is veneer, don't do that.
Because then it'll raise the grain and the veneer.
I want to show the side here. Some pretty grain markings in there for pine that you wouldn't necessarily see if you put a regular oil stain on it. It would just look splotchy because pine stains unevenly. That's why most people often put a natural finish on it. Applying the white vinegar. Smells like a deli in here now. Saturate it. Get it into the wood. We're going to give it a good shellacking, Captain.
With the ever-popular spit or sealer coat.
This is sealing the wood. You should always, especially if you have unfinished furniture, seal everything, all edges, all sides, all insides of drawers with shellac. And this will reduce any risk of warping.
Or getting any tiny dirty things in there.
So this dries real fast. You let it sit until it feels dry, and then you can sand it with like a 280 or 320 paper, and then apply a second coat of the shellac. For the third coat, after it's sanded, put a little bit more of the shellac from the can in here. It'll give it a little thicker body, and then apply that. Sand that, and then we'll wax it. It's wax.
It's dark liquid wax. So we've waxed almost all of it.
You just apply this
to the front. Just a nice wipe.
While we're waiting for this to dry, you open up and you look, put the shelves in.
Wow, that's great. Ready for your Angora, your cashmere.
All your CDs.
Your vicuna, which is the smallest of the llama family. Very small. Next size, the alpaca and the large llama. I just got back from Peru. I can't help it.
So that's it for a pie server. Now the next thing we're going to do is the barrister bookcase.
The barrister bookcase.
I just said that.
Dun, dun. Da-da, dun, dun.
This program is brought to you in part by Skill Power Tools. Think of all the things you can do.
Skill Power Tools make such quick work of all your projects. You'll find time to get out there and work on all kinds of things. Skill Power Tools. Think of all the things you can do.
Welcome to Burgerama.
Yeah, I'd like a large coffee. Oh, and make sure the lid's on tight this time.
Candace, is that you?
Yeah?
Hey, I hope you don't mind me asking, but you know Sprint's time-a-minute rate, is that really good coast to coast?
Well, yeah, it is.
So, theoretically, I could call every state in the country and it'd always be just 10 cents?
That's right, all 50 states.
50? Whoa, we got 50 now?
Call now for Sprint Cents, 10 cents a minute to any state in the country.
Welcome to Thomasville. With this Memorial Day, you'll find elegance and timeless craftsmanship at once-in-a-lifetime prices. The Thomasville Memorial Day Sale. Extraordinary furniture, extraordinarily priced. Call now for details, because after May 27th, this sale will only be a beautiful memory. Thomasville. Make yourself at home.
This stain didn't hold up.
You used the wrong stain. Thompson's water-sealed deck stain is made tough just for decks. 50 scuff-resistant colors, plus the superior waterproofing power of Thompson's. Thompson's is protection.
In places where people need an air conditioner that lasts a long, long, long time, they know
Okay, kid, run up and see if anybody's home.
it's hard to stop a train.
So you wanted a sensible wedding.
A wedding sensible? What do you want to make this big thing out of a piece of cake?
A tale of two weddings takes you through the agony.
The quiche is what we're very unhappy about.
And the ecstasy of wedding preparation. Then on War Brides, American GIs storm Europe to find true love.
Planning a wedding is a lot like waging a war.
You're on the front lines of Wedding Bell Madness. Saturday at 8 on TLC.
Number 2 finish.
Next, we will attack the barrister bookcase used by our friends, the attorneys.
That's why we must attack it gently.
Gently, or suits will arise.
Right.
The glass front with the garage door type openings for the dusty books, so they don't get so dusty because, you know, precedent is precedent.
And originally, these were made as separate units, and they were stacked. They were called stacked bookcases, so you could put 3 over here and 2 over here if you wanted. Or you can make one tall of 6, or 8, or 17.
Now, this is what we're using. Ferrous sulfates, day off.
Ferrous Bueller sulfate.
And this is for women. You can use a man's or a woman's formula here.
We used the whole bottle in about, what was it? I guess it's about a half a quart of water, maybe a little less than a quart.
Bad night at the deli.
Right. Now, similar to the way we did those Adirondack chairs that time.
Many years ago.
We used the vinegar and water and all the rusty iron, and then we strained that and we applied it to some oak Adirondack chairs, and it turned it a dark black or a gray, depending on how much water you added. This is going to do the same thing because the iron supplement is going to react the same way with the tannin in the oak and give it a base color. After we get the gray, we'll apply an oil stain, and that'll give a nice mission kind of color, and then we'll follow that up with a wax.
I think everybody took enough notes on that.
And it'll look, so if you can hold this, my friend, we're going to strain this through a piece of cloth here, a piece of trace cloth. There you go. You must try and get it on quickly, because then excess must be removed.
Doctor, I just can't get the damn gloves on. I cut his heart open now, except for the gloves.
Anyway, this is a walnut stain bought in a can, and then I added some Van Dyke Japan color, and Van Dyke brown, and some burnt sienna, and a little bit of Japan dryer. So it's kind of thick, and it's going to go and lay over top of the ferrous sulfate gray.
Now we shellac.
So I'm going to shellac with an orange shellac.
Yeah, that'll bring out a little bit of the orange color.
A lot of people still don't understand that you can actually put an oil stain on, and when it dries, you can shellac over it with a light spit-coated shellac, and then put a new stain on top of that. So what I'm going to do, I'd like to call the draping effect.
The draping?
We're going to drape another coat of stain over top of this shellac.
So you can stain shellac. You're building up various hues. Beaumont.
Now, what about the insides of these cabinets?
Forget it.
Forget it. Gonna have books in there.
It's gonna have books. This is a barrister bookcase.
You think the books are gonna care?
The law books here. The travel brochures here.
This is the draping stain.
The draping. The stain for the drapes.
That's right. See the color? Now it gives it a classic.
A classic mission-esque.
Color.
Kind of a color.
That's the burnt sienna color.
Okay, this is a settle. It's an early American piece, and we're going to use a milk paint on it.
Mm-hmm. Because we didn't drink our milk this morning. We're going to use it for a paint instead. It's a paint that we bought. It's a milk paint we got through a woodworker's supply catalog.
Right, and early Americans, the settlers, ironically, settlers, used to use milk paint.
And they would color it with things like blood.
Right, it's truly cow's blood or
berry juice.
Dried pigments that they grind up from the surrounding area.
And the stuff that we bought here
actually has some of those pigments. Ochre.
Well, it's got lime and clay and pigments. And so you mix it with water, you get the consistency that you want. You can make it into a stain, or you can paint it on thicker and make it a regular paint. But you got to put on 2 coats, and the first thing you got to do is wet it down. It smells like earth.
It looks like earth. Are you sure it's going to look good on this?
Well, I certainly hope so.
You want to test that, maybe, on the underside of this.
Like I said, it's going to be 2 coats we have to apply, and this first coat is
green.
It's going to be more like a stain.
We're just doing this because if it was really ugly, this would be the part that the people probably would never see unless they put their boots in there and they'd be frightened.
Well, I hope they were going to put something in here.
We're using our nylon brushes.
And the nylon brushes go very well with heels. Right.
Like I said, the Cuban heel.
The Cuban heels, yes. Now be warned, once you apply this stuff, this becomes absorbed right into the wood like a sponge. You'll never get this paint out.
Now you could use a roller for this.
That's what I'm using. A foam.
We're going to put on the second coat.
I mixed more of the powder in with this paint, so it's a...
You've thickened it.
It's a lot thicker. I thickened it with a roux.
We're going to roux this day.
No, I
We're having so much fun here. My shoes are perspiring.
We're obscuring the grain now. From here to obscurity.
In places where people need an air conditioner that lasts a long, long, long time, they know
Okay, kid, run up and see if anybody's home.
it's hard to stop a train.
Got something different for your sensitive teeth.
Well, you can take it back. My dentist wants me to use Sensodyne.
This is Sensodyne. Sensodyne with baking soda.
No pain. My mouth feels fresh and clean.
Sensodyne with baking soda. All you feel is fresh and clean.
How helpful are Ace Hardware dealers during Helpful Hardware Days? Well, maybe not that helpful. But they will give you a little extra help at some extra big savings. You can't help but notice, Ace is a place with the helpful hardware folks.
Saturday.
Blink, and it's gone.
And
boxing. Peak Performance, Saturday at 10 on TLC.
get ready for how-to advice from the ground up on the Renovation Guide. Coming up next. Then, double your knowledge, double your fun with back-to-back episodes of Home Time. It's all next right here on TLC.
What's your biggest problem with vacuum cleaners?
I don't like buying filter bags.
I don't think I ever came home with the proper bag.
Every time I had to empty the bag, there was always stuff would come out.
Throw those bags away forever. Introducing the Phantom Fury vacuum with patented dual cyclone action. Non-stop power devours dirt and deposits it into a clear bin. It's easy to empty.
It's incredible how fast and how powerful the Phantom vacuum really is.
The Phantom Fury comes with a HEPA filter on its exhaust.
The HEPA filter is one of the most efficient filters you can use to control dust.
The Phantom Fury is 2 machines in one, upright and cleaning one.
Push a button and you can just hit the high places, the low places, places where you can't reach, and it saves you time.
Call now for a free video and brochure. The Phantom Fury vacuum cleans up a storm, and you'll never change a bag again. Call now.
You don't have to have bags.
Well, the next piece, a large, cumbersome-looking thing. What is it?
Not beautiful wood.
It's a closet.
It's a wardrobe. Yeah. It's got doors.
Is this second floor?
It's got doors and
birch ply.
Birch ply, and what we're going to do...
Didn't he was the
Birch
Ways and
ply?
Means Committee, I
That was
think.
Bert Lahr's brother.
That was birch ply.
Birch ply. Anyway, we're going to sand, we've already sanded this lightly. We're going to give it a coat of shellac to seal it, and then we'll sand that, and we're going to prime it, then we're going to come back and do a colored finish on
Beautiful colors all over.
it. Enameling. That's what we're doing.
We're enamored.
Yeah, you're enamored with enameling, yes.
So this is an example of not so high-grade wood can be made beautiful through the wondrous finishes of...
Keep going. Something will pop out. Go ahead. It's functional, though. It's got lots of space for your clothes.
I've lived in smaller apartments.
Uh-huh.
Remember shellacking again with the spit coat.
It's going to seal the wood, especially this edge here. It's just flake board with a veneer on it, so you want to make sure that you seal the flake board edge so the paint is not going to absorb too much into the wood. Put on the primer. Now, this is the first coat. When we do the second and final coat, I'm going to try and lay this down flat. Hey, get that choo-choo Charlie upholstering look, huh?
Well, I misplaced my regular basic black little number.
This is the last of the unfinished segment, and we have a small vanity stool.
White vanity white.
It is vanity white now, but it's a stool. And Ed's going to do the top.
I am.
And I'm going to do the whole bottom.
I have chosen the lovely pastoral print with the center scene. Now I'm going to want this right in the center.
See if he does it. I got some alcohol here in this can, and this is called a penetrating stain. It's not an oil stain. This dries real fast, and it stains. So you want to put on your rubber gloves.
We have 20 inches by 12 and a half. Ooh, I hate those half inches.
Now, I want to dilute it because I don't want it straight.
I see where I'm going to make my mark here because I want this right in the middle.
I'm going to put a little more of this and make it a little darker.
Take my staple gun. Uh-oh.
Now I know I'm going to win. He's got to use tacks.
The hard flake board is if I did the test before. I've got to switch to tacks. One tack there.
Now you can see the chair is drying here. The stain is drying, and it's got a nice salmon look to it, I guess you would call it.
I see he's winning. I'm only going to finish up with like 4 tacks total.
This is spray shellac. Now you can't brush on shellac because this stain is alcohol-based, and if I brushed it on, it would pull the stain right off. I'm doing the back of the legs first.
And as if we haven't told you many times, when doing operations like this, what do you wear?
Nice sequins.
An organza. No, you wear a respirator.
Turn it around. Why?
Always
Because I want to
checking
get
my
the
work
feet.
and see if it's centered. Now a fold like this, I like to make an interior fold.
Boy, is he a killer with a can or what? Jeez. Now we're going to let this dry.
One fold like this. Whoa. Oh, that's cheating. And one fold like this. It's a nice breeze around here.
Now the next step is the tone spray. What is a tone spray? Tone spray is a lacquer that has a pigment in it. You can see it's got color in it, and it is a lacquer. What this is going to do is going to even up some of the irregularities in the wood. This is a light red, and this is a dark red. I'm going to use a little bit of each.
Again, I'll do an interior fold. That means I'm folding the fabric underneath here.
This has to be done in stages. You can't put heavy coats of this on because it'll run.
And make a release cut. You're waving that right towards me.
Finito.
Well, 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 it was a tie then.
It's centered.
It's centered, it's lovely. I wish I was there having a cup of coffee.
Mm-hmm.
And this is dry too. Gosh, I hope so.
It's dry.
This is our small project.
Small to big.
That anyone can start.
Here we go.
5 projects we did this week.
5. I was doing sign language. The beautiful milk paint that I'm sitting on.
Sitting on a milk paint.
The lye cabinet with, we washed with lye and did a shellac and wax.
And the big ugly thing that is now a big ugly blue thing. The lovely barrister bookcase with the amyl nitrate. No, the ferrous sulfate.
No, ferrous sulfate and oil stain and shellac.
And the lovely tapestry and red toned bench. And you know, I'm getting this and this.
No, I'm getting this.
No.
I'm getting this, what I'm sitting on.
You take the big thing.
I don't want the big thing. I want this and this. I want the bookcase.
I want this.
Next on TLC, put a vintage house in tip-top shape. Bob Vila shares his years of experience on the Renovation Guide. Then it's a twofer, back-to-back home time shows with Dean and Joanne.